everybody out there on the internets, welcome again to another edition of Give It a Shot, Spotlight Edition. And today, I am reviewing this lovely little DVD called The Pond. Now, something I gotta confess about all of my Spotlight episodes, typically I only work with what's on the box, the cover art, and I was a little intrigued when I got this one because it's some CG animation. It's from the early 2000s, so already have a couple of things going for it, and lo and behold, it's from Good Times. We know Good Times. We're very familiar with their work. I've reviewed them a number of times. For my reviews, and so I was figuring this is a no-brainer. This is a slam dunk. This is going to be fun. This is going to be easy. It wasn't. I figured I'd have a ton of jokes. This was going to just go, just fly on by. But it's not. This one's different.
No, it's just the FBI warning.
And after this, what? CIA warning? FDA? NRA?
The NRA puts up a warning, I pay attention.
I'm going to say something that I never thought I was going to say in my life. I watched a Good Times movie that didn't totally suck.
It's a trap!
Well, that's just punishment right there. For saying something like that. That almost sounds heretical. But, hear me out. This is not the worst thing I've seen. I already had some scruples with it. I mean, I already listed them out. But another thing is, this has on the front cover, faith, fun, and values guaranteed. So, I don't know the complete history of Good Times Video, but I get the feeling that near the end, they started publishing a lot of Christian media, because this is the second one that I've done this year, in fact. What was that? Storytellers or whatever? The Storytellers. That was a Good Times release. And so I'm starting to get the impression that near the end of their run, they started, I guess they started just latching on to anything, and Christian media was one of those things. So, I guess another confession. This is all Christian. We might as well just go into confessionals and stuff like that. I don't mean to pick out Christian media all the time. It just so happens it's one of those things that just is there. A guy that I follow online had mentioned this. His name's Arlo Eisenberg. He always finds it funny that at most Goodwills and other thrift shops, I'm so dumbfounded that I can't even speak. He finds a lot of Christian shirts, like for whatever activity and stuff like that, which you always find comical. And I have to say, the same thing happens with the media. The Christian media just ends up there in droves. And it's not like I intend to pick it up. Because like I said, I have lambasted a lot of stuff. But it just seems like that's just the thing that lays around. Nobody pays attention to it anymore. It's just there. I can get it dirt cheap. So it just happens to be the thing. And plus, most of the time, the budgets for those various shows, cartoons, what have you, are so terrible that you end up with gold, like I typically find. This is not one of them.
2, 3, 4. What did I do wrong here?
What was that?
This is something completely different. So, alright, let's just get into what this is about. So, these are about characters who live at a pond. We've got a duck, an alligator, a frog, and a turtle. And then there's also a chicken involved, which that just makes sense to have at the pond. Going about their lives, it's a slice of life sort of deal, and first episode set me up for something that I was totally expecting. Like, it was this very slice of life type episode where the duck, Bill, can't really fly or doesn't fly or has a conundrum with flight. And he runs into some friends who say, hey, why don't we see you flying south or anything like that? And he tells a lie that, he just doesn't, but for whatever reason, he doesn't fly fast, or he doesn't like to fly fast, and he blames his glasses.
These things. Bugs get stuck to them when I fly. I slammed into a swarm of gnats, could barely see, and ended up following a jet airplane 200 miles due north when I meant to go south.
And, just like any other performance issue, you make up rationale as to why you can't do the thing. And so his is the glasses, and he tries some different things, like he attempts to fly fast. One of his friends makes him windshield wipers, which explode immediately. They try a couple of different things. Oh, contacts. He tries contacts, but they fall out and he crashes.
Uh-oh.
What?
I lost the contact.
Well, you still have the...
Ah! I lost the other.
You're done.
I can't see.
It's sort of set up for this very bland story, because at the end, he confesses why he doesn't fly fast, which is apparently the fact that he's afraid of heights. And then the other three ducks are like, well, why didn't you say so? Like, I'm afraid of, what were the fears? One was afraid of the dark. Another one is afraid of water. And then this is where things took a turn, and I started thinking about, okay, what's going on here? The third one was afraid of meaningful and long-lasting commitments or relationships, and then the frog is like, well, who isn't? And it's like, okay, that's kind of funny.
Pat is afraid to make long-term, meaningful commitments. Aren't we all? Oh, right, of course. Pat's also afraid of germs. Now we're talking.
It's not like, oh my god, this is hilarious, but there's a little bit of writing here, and I got an earlier sample of that too, because when Bill first comes with his problem to his friends, the frog is like, oh, so they made fun of you. It's time to give them a retort. And the turtle is standing there like, well, I like torts.
Nobody likes to be made fun of. We need to come up with some biting retorts.
My grandma used to make retorts. Those were good.
Or retorts. They're yummy. It's like, and so it becomes this whole thing about food, which is kind of clever. And it wasn't great, but it was there. Like, oh, he's a turtle. He's slow. He's not getting the point. And so it was like, all right, this isn't terrible, but it's not wowing me. Not that I'm expecting any of this to wow me. It's just what it is. So, second episode, which is called The Garden Variety Problem. I can never remember half this shit, and I just watched it. if you ever do this kind of thing, even for like a hobby, all of this shit eventually blends together and you don't remember anything. But garden variety problem is where the alligator, Methuselah, which I got a lot to say about Methuselah, but that's later.
It was very kind of you.
Is working on the garden. Now, apparently everybody had made a commitment to work on this garden, but the others are like, oh, I'm checking my day planner, and, hey, I've got these things to do. Like, I've got playing to do, or I've got this. Or, like, so they are distracted. They have other commitments that they have to do.
Checker game, golf, a baseball game, a three-legged race, a pillow fight. It's just wall-to-wall commitments.
And so they go off and do these things. The frog, Tony, he's playing checkers with the doctor, which is, there's a whole other kettle of fish with that doctor. He's out there, so we're just gonna leave him alone. But he's playing checkers with the doctor, with the frog, and the frog is terrible because he's distracted. And the doctor says, "Well, why don't you work on?" Why don't you go do the thing that you had a prior commitment to? And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. And then he goes off and does it.
You pull away from a prior commitment due to selfishness, leaving a friend to do a lot of work that he or she should be sharing with you.
You know what, Doc? I think that's it.
And then he goes and plays golf with the duck. And the duck can't hit the ball. And then he hits a ball and it crashes into a wedding. Which is like, holy cow, okay.
Uh-oh. Is that a wedding over there?
Ooh, real crystal. Papa did that one right.
And he's like, well, you've been stinking up too. Are you distracted? Do you have... This whole thing is about guilt. Because he gets to the third one, the turtle, and the turtle is... trying to hammer in a nail with food. I don't know if that's genuinely funny or like somebody smoked something when they were writing this. Because it's strange. But it's different. I'll give him that. And he talks to him and convinces him he has to go and take care of his prior commitment.
What you have, my friend, is guilt.
Was it something I ate?
And they do, and they learn some things, whoopity-doo. 2 decent episodes, but this second one is better. I guess I'll get into the writing. The writing, especially for the second episode, is good. I mean, it's not like laugh out loud funny. I mean, there are a couple of lines in there, primarily delivered by the doctor chicken, but they ain't bad.
It's labor, difficult labor. He's working hard. Granted, you were working hard too, trying to build a play structure with a Happy Meal.
There's a student loan joke.
Even so, the last thing I need is my medical practice reduced to filling eye prescriptions. I have large school bills to pay, you know.
There's doctor's penmanship joke.
Don't you ever see patients?
At my med school, they had several courses on sloppy penmanship and seeming extremely busy. I did quite well on the latter.
Which was actually pretty good. And like 1 or 2 others. So, you know, the writing was pretty solid. And I'm going to say this. This one, aside from where the chicken is directly quoting Deuteronomy, this is not like ham-fisted when it comes to religion. It's actually like, oh hey, you had some obligations, you should honor those. And hey, don't be afraid to just be yourself. So it's not bad. I still can't believe I'm saying this. It's okay. The animation, leaves a little to be desired, but given that it's 2004, it's not the worst that I've seen. I mean, I didn't really see much in the way of clipping. I did see a couple instances of that, but I mean, it wasn't anything awful. The thing that really gets me, aside from the writing being kind of humorous, is the voice acting. So the voice acting is done by two people, and the one person voices two characters, and like when I saw that it was voiced by the same person, it made sense. But like their deliveries are so weird. The Doctor Chicken has a bit of an odd delivery, but Methuselah. First of all, you named your gator Methuselah. Okay, it's an old gator. It's supposed to be the wise one, because Methuselah does say like the smart things that they should do.
My friend, you don't need to fly fast.
But the other guys...
It doesn't matter what they think.
But Methuselah has a deep voice. Almost robotic. It reminds me of a song from like 1989 or 1990. I might put up a lyric here. I can't remember the name of the artist, but the song is called People Are Still Having Sex. So I'm just going to put a line read from Methuselah, and then I'm going to put a quick snippet of the song next to each other, and you're going to be like, that's what it sounds like. Because as Methuselah speaks, that's what I'm hearing.
I've heard him talk about this before, and back then, I made a suggestion.
Have you noticed that people are still having sex?
There's work to be done. I'd rather do it now than have fun tomorrow.
People are still having sex. So it's like, okay. And, the other characters, I mean, they're all kind of unique, believe it or not. I mean, Bill's Bill. He's a duck who's a nerd. Okay, whatever. The turtle's a little slow, and dumb, but he's kind of written in a smart kind of dumb. That I know that sounds weird, but no, you can actually write dumb as funny, and they kind of do it with him.
A retort is like a reply, you know?
Oh, of course. I like chocolate retorts.
Tony the Frog has some moments. He's kind of like the, again, this is going back to my church background. You have that one person who's in the congregation that pushes the boundaries of acceptable Christian talk. And this is kind of where Tony is. He's the one that comes up with the wild ideas, and it's like, Tone, I think we need to like simmer this down. But yeah, this isn't awful, and it sounds weird. Again, that coming out of my mouth. It's not bad. Oh, one other thing. The doctor, when Dr. Chicken is on, you can sort of hear that blandness in his voice that you hear with Methuselah. So it's just kind of weird that I get that kind of vibe from them. So shockingly, this isn't bad. The only reason why I took the shot was because it just sounded weird to say that Goodwill. Good Times actually put out an okay thing?
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck. Oh, my.
Like I said, I've talked about this before. Good Times has put out some dreck. I mean, Good Times put out The Christmas Tree. Good Times has put out the Littlest Bunny. Or, was it Curly? No. Happy Happy the littlest bunny and Curly the littlest puppy. Like, that's what I'm used to working with. Like, they all blend together in a lovely swirl of shit. But that's what I've dealt with. And so it's kind of weird to actually have something that's minimally entertaining. So, The Pond kind of gets a pass. I mean, it's just, like I said, weird to say that it had something. And it's not ham-fisted about its message. It's just, hey, be a halfway decent human being. And, oh yeah, God's involved somehow. And there you have it. So, one shot from a Good Times video. Who would have thought? So until next time, kids, toodles.